Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Arts and Business Council's Movers and Makers event. My name is Kara Washington, one of the 2022 Creative Entrepreneur Fellows. I'm a musician, an educator, and an applied ethnomusicologist, and the CEF program has given me the tools to improve my business practice, so I've been able to focus on me as an artist. For years, I thought of myself as a band leader, but I was struggling to find my way as the business leader. However, the program has given me guidance and confidence to up my game, to be better at the business side of things. For years, what I was struggling to find. It was great, especially during this time when we've been able to connect with each other. It's been great to hear what other people are doing and to improve the things that I've been wondering about for many, many years. So I give thanks. Thank you. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. A long way from home, a long way from home. Ursulio, Ursulio. Wapagay mama, wapagay papa. On s'est pitié de la moyenne, de tomber l'anglo. Imbala lo limbala, shumalewa. Imbala lo limbala, shumalewa.
Thank you, Kira, for that powerful performance, and good evening, everyone. I'm Luke Blackadar, Deputy Director of the Arts and Business Council of Greater Boston.
And I'm Jim Grace, Executive Director of the Arts and Business Council. Welcome.
Jim and I are so grateful to be here with you from the Record Co.'s wonderful studio here in Boston, an outstanding example of creating an affordable, equitable space where art can be made in community by the community. This Movers and Makers event offers us an opportunity, a moment of celebration, reflection, and looking forward.
This past year has been one of the most transformative for the Arts and Business Council in its 30-plus year history. For me personally, in the 24 years that I've had the privilege of stewarding this organization, I have never felt more engaged and energized and committed to our collective work. We have recalibrated our mission through an equity lens, and we have transformed our decision-making and our programming. We have asked ourselves hard questions. If we went away tomorrow, who would care? Where can we be most impactful? And how can we support a thriving arts community? We have emerged from this process of self-reflection clearer on how we fit, where we fit, and what it would take to maximize our impact. We have strengthened our existing programs and fine-tuned our portfolio of services to serve this primary goal. And tonight, we are excited to share with you, our arts and cultural family, some of what we've accomplished and our exciting plans in two primary areas, legal justice and spatial justice.
Before we get there, I'd like to introduce you to more of our Creative Entrepreneur Fellows, like Kira, who you met at the top of the program. Arts and Business Council's commitment to providing professional development opportunities is in its 20th year, and its 9th year within the Creative Entrepreneur Fellowship model. From its start, Creative Entrepreneur Fellowship has been based in Roxbury and its surrounding neighborhoods. The goal of the program is centered on supporting individual artists with a focus on artists of color. Our approach and definition of success is simple: helping individual artists of all disciplines create momentum toward their unique definitions of success. This year marks our 100th artist to participate in the program. Both Jim and I have had the opportunity to teach and work with many of the fellows as they develop their artistic practices, and we've witnessed their impactful work firsthand. As we always say, once you're part of the Arts and Business Council family, you always are.
Luke and I, and the rest of our staff, had the great privilege of working with Candelaria Silva Collins, who runs the program and personally works with each of the artists throughout this 8-month program. We could not ask for a more dedicated, experienced, passionate, and talented arts leader to partner with on this program. She embodies the spirit of artist-centered work. So let's meet some of our 2022 fellows: Farah June, Amy Chin, and Nikolai Alexander.
Hi, my name is Farah June. I'm a multimedia artist here in Boston, and I'm proud to be part of the Creative Entrepreneur Fellowship. My purpose in life is to make people feel seen, heard, and valued, and I do that through my creative work, both in media and film, as well as visual art. I am a proud producer, host, editor, creative director of a monthly variety show called Fahrenheit TV, which celebrates people's greatness in Boston. And I'm also a growing self-taught visual artist, and the mediums that I enjoy using are digital art, as well as oil painting. So I applied for the Arts and Business Fellowship because I really needed guidance. So I started to embrace my creativity more as an adult in 2016, and I've been blessed to accomplish many accomplishments each year, such as presenting some of my art activism work at national conferences, and also having my artwork on a billboard right in Roxbury. But I felt that each year, although I was learning and accomplishing many things, I didn't have the guidance nor the support to be able to further excel in my art in creative career. So when I applied for the fellowship, I was really looking forward to having that guidance, having that knowledge, and having that team of people that could support me, as well as learning from other creatives in the fellowship, which has been such a blessing because there's so many talented creatives who do so many different things, but also really being able to take in all of the business skills that that we could learn, such as negotiating contracts, or having some of your artwork at galleries, or thinking beyond the box that you may have of what you could accomplish as an artist, and being able to work with lawyers such as Yen, which shout out to Yen, who's been so patient and kind and able to just understand us as creatives. I think that has been such a bonus blessing, because being part of the fellowship, you're not just talking with people who know about business and, you know, could give you a lot of great advice of how you could be a stronger and smarter entrepreneur, but people who are also creatives themselves. So that way they understand the language. When you tell them about some of your challenges or something that you may be scared of, they get it because they've been there, or they know someone who else has been, who's a creative, and that could really guide you to the next step. So I was able to just learn so much, but also it gave me the confidence to continue to create. I've struggled with self-doubt for so many years, and this year was the first year that I created continually. I was able to finally launch my online art website, and I'm so proud of that accomplishment. So I would recommend this program to everyone, especially up and coming creative entrepreneurs. I think this entrepreneurship will give you the skills, the guidance, the support, the love, the inspiration you need to continue to move forward in your career. And also you'll be able to meet so many incredible people. So thank you to the Arts and Business Council for investing in me, for believing in me. And I hope that the next cohort will be even more blessed than we were, and that we'll all continue to stay connected and move forward together.
Hey folks, I'm Amy Chin. I'm a full-time educator. I'm also a single mom, an urban homesteader, a collector, and also the maker behind Wanderers Mercantile. So my craft blends a love of plants and gardening, and also my resolve to help the earth by reimagining items to create plant displays. I also hand knot rope into macrame for plant hangers and other super nifty items. It's a thrill to push creative boundaries by making unique pieces which are whimsical, beautiful, and also functional. I like to think of my craft as living pieces of art. It's really been an honor to be a part of the 2022 cohort of the Creative Entrepreneur Fellowship. Honestly, when I applied, I didn't think that this personal hobby of mine would be even viewed as art and could be turned into a business where I could bring in another stream of income for my family. Becoming a fellow has allowed me the opportunity to meet some super creative, talented artists from all walks of life. And it gave me a peace of mind to know that, like me, they were in search of information and guidance and mentorship to take their art to a different level. During my time with CEF, I had headshots done as well as product shots. Super grateful for that. But we also learned about the business aspects of selling your art, which was really daunting to me. But I learned about taxes and legal matters and pricing, marketing, social media presence, the importance of that. And with all of this knowledge, I know that I'm just going to take it with me as I continue on this journey of growth and creativity. With the stipend that the fellowship offered, I've been able to hire a graphic designer to create a logo. I had my logo then made into stamps, printed onto a tablecloth, made into business cards, and I also purchased a new laptop. All of this has been wonderful, and it's given me the confidence to participate and be successful at craft shows all across the state. So thanks to all the fellows. Thank you for your inspiration and for your support. Candelaria, thank you for your mentorship and for always keeping me and all of us on our toes. And of course, to the staff at the Arts and Business Council, as well as all the consultants, thank you for making this opportunity possible for all of us.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Nikolai Alexander. I am a Boston-based photographer. I'm also a 2021 Creative Entrepreneur Fellow out of the Arts and Business Council. 6 years ago, I started my photography journey, and it's been a fun journey. I've been getting better at my craft every year, and I'm continuing to get better. 2 years ago, I started a company called F Point Productions. F Point Productions is a photo and video production company. We're here to serve the community, but we're really focused on helping small businesses within the community grow and maintain a high quality online presence. We understand the importance of not just taking good photos or video, but also marketing that. So we do have a background in digital marketing. The fellowship helped me put together this whole plan simply because they were focused on helping artists create businesses around their art. It were very specifically chosen, is what I feel, because of the questionnaires that we received in the beginning of the program. And because of those questionnaires, I feel like that information was used to help craft a custom program for what I feel it was for me. And I have to say that everything that was provided to us felt very customized for me. On top of the great programming, we also had amazing artists that we were paired with. So I had so many different collaborations and also paid jobs that came through just my network of the small group that we had of artists. And so I'm very appreciative of that. Over the past few months, I did a few things that I'm really proud of, one of which being my first ever photo exhibit. And I would love to share some of those images with you guys, as well as some other things that I've done. So enjoy. Thank you.
I'm Yan Nguyen. As a former AMBC legal intern, I'm excited to have rejoined the Arts and Business Council of Greater Boston as its first Art Law Fellow. I'm excited to combine my legal and business career as a fashion designer with my passion for the arts, and to provide legal services to so many talented artists.
Together, Yen and I manage the Arts and Business Council's Legal Services Program, the Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts of Massachusetts, and now Connecticut. This new partnership represents an exciting first step towards realizing our long-term vision of the VLA as the legal service provider for artists and arts organizations around New England, and not just Massachusetts. We couldn't have achieved this goal without the generous support of the Connecticut Office of the Arts. In the Connecticut Office of the Arts, we've truly found an ally that shares our values and understands the power art has to enrich our lives and create a more equitable world.
Through this partnership, we've officially opened our doors to artists and cultural organizations in Connecticut for the first time. We provide the same pro bono legal services that our Massachusetts clients have had access to for the past 3 decades. These include legal consultations, lawyer referrals, and educational programming. And now, we're thrilled to announce that we'll be offering 6 workshops for Connecticut artists and arts professionals. Stay tuned for details by subscribing to our newsletter or following us on social media.
We'd also like to thank all of our incredible attorneys, pro bono coordinators, and other supporters who make our work possible. We seriously couldn't do it without all of you, and for that we are so, so grateful. Every year, we present the Robert B. Frazier Award for Pro Bono Excellence to an attorney or law firm who exemplifies the VLA's mission and commitment to the arts. Tonight, I'm honored to present the 2022 award to Jason Mahler, Associate General Counsel at Boston University, for his longtime service to Jazz Boston. Jay's volunteer service spans 17 years. And additionally, he's a musician, filmmaker, and a former jazz radio DJ. As we're seated here in the Record Co. studios, this space created for musicians to safely practice their craft. I can't think of a better recipient of this award. Thank you so much for your service to the arts, Jay.
Hello, I'm Jay Mahler, Associate General Counsel for Boston University. I'm thrilled and quite humbled to accept the 2022 Robert B. Frazier Award for Pro Bono Excellence. I'd like to thank Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts and the Arts and Business Council for selecting me for this award. My journey with the VLA began over 17 years ago when, as a young corporate attorney, I volunteered to represent Jazz Boston, an emerging nonprofit organization dedicated to connecting, promoting, and advocating for the musicians, audiences, and venues of Greater Boston's dynamic and diverse jazz community. My role began with incorporating the organization and applying for and receiving 501c3 status. I'm happy that over the years my efforts have evolved to include not only annual corporate maintenance and reporting, but advising on numerous intellectual property, contracting, employment, and strategic issues. With the help of VLA, my arts-related volunteer work over the years has also included advising on real estate, tax credit and conventional financing, and contracting issues for several other local arts-oriented nonprofits. Simply, VLA has made it easy for me, an attorney with a lifelong interest in the arts, to connect with local artists and arts organizations and help support this vibrant and vital community in the Greater Boston area. I'm proud to have the opportunity to do this work, and I'm honored to receive the VLA's recognition through this award. Thank you.
One day we heard a prophet speak. This is some of what she had to say. A message that we hope would reach people who were throwing life away. Long as you're living, always remember, life is for spending, but there's an ending. While you are sleeping, lifetime is creeping. Wake up and taste it, foolish to waste it. Simple and savor all of its flavor, long as you're living. Long as you're living, always remember, folks who are lazy are playing crazy. Better keep moving, keep on improving. You won't be worried after you're buried. Live every minute, put yourself in it, long as you're living. Long as you're living, always remember, don't try to cheat life, you'll never beat life. With sisters and brothers, do unto others, love's for enjoying, hate's for destroying. Never forget it or you'll regret it, long as you're living. Excuse me if I seem to preach, but there was something that I had to say. A message that I hope would reach people who were throwing lives away. Long as you're living. Long as you're living. Long as you're living.
We've been grappling with the fundamental question: what is the future of the arts if there are no longer affordable places where it can be made? Over this past year, the Arts and Business Council grew its real estate program to directly address this challenge. In March, very excitedly, the Arts and Business Council purchased Western Ave Studios and Lofts in Lowell, Massachusetts, as part of a larger strategy to create, in essence, the real estate arm for the arts, to provide permanent, affordable, equitable, creative makerspaces. We have been losing spaces like Western Ave for 2 decades due to gentrification. We all know that a community without arts is a community missing part of its soul. And a community without a diverse foundation of small businesses is one whose economy stagnates. So vibrant artist communities like Western Ave must survive. They are extraordinary places. To give you a sense of the scope of Western Ave, it includes 250 work studios, 50 live-work lofts, a brewery, a gallery, 7,000 square foot performance venue, and a coffee shop. In total, 375 artists make art there. In other words, 375 small businesses thrive here, contributing to the vibrancy of their greater community. This past year, an extraordinary man named Carl Frey wanted to sustain the artists and the artist integrity of Western Ave Studios. He owned the building, but had made a promise to the artists that the building would always serve its mission to be permanent and affordable. He turned to the Arts and Business Council to keep this promise.
Any small business owner, the kind of businesses we call mom and pops, can tell you how much of their heart and soul they put into their business. Western Avenue was a failed investment that turned into a mom and pop, that turned into the largest community for the creative class in the country. Western Avenue has over 370 artists in 250 work-only studios and 50 live-work lofts. Western Avenue grew far bigger than a mom and pop, but until recently, there were only 2 people who ran the place. There are literally hundreds of success stories that have come out of Western Avenue over the past 17 years, but to pick one would be a disservice to them all. I'd like to tell you about one program in this community that may have had a bigger impact than any single story. Refuge at Western Avenue is a safe and equitable space for future artists, for young artists, to be nurtured. Over the past 7 years, Refuge has served over 750 students. Students who came into this creative community of all ages, types, colors, and disciplines, and can imagine themselves as a future artist. So while we often talk about Western Avenue Studios and Lofts as a big, stable community for the creative class, that doesn't even count the multiplicative aspect of all the Refuge students that have passed through and been affected by the community. Western Avenue has simply had an enormous impact on the creative economy in Massachusetts. Over the years, Western Avenue got bigger and bigger and took up more and more of our time and energy. Patty and I would often look at each other and ask jokingly, what would happen if one of us got run over by a bus? Until one day we asked each other the question seriously. Neither of us could possibly handle the work the other was doing. And we knew we had to figure out a future for Western Avenue. Nobody lives forever. From the beginning, we had promised the artists that Western Avenue would remain an affordable community for the creative class in perpetuity. The question was pretty simple. How could we keep that promise? The Arts and Business Council is a 20-year-old organization that has as one of its core missions maintaining affordable spaces for the arts. They have a real organization with a professional board. They're the type of organization that can take over for a mom and pop and not have it feel to the artists and the community like there's a bureaucracy stepping in. But at the same time, no one person in their organization can get run over by a bus and crater the whole thing. The Arts and Business Council can make good on our promise to keep Western Avenue an affordable community for the creative class in perpetuity. They're doing it here, and they should take this business model on the road.
After 2 years of looking at potential partners, we realized that most who own creative campuses run them with little mind to community and sustainability. During the same 2 years, we looked at models as a not-for-profit or foundation, and we realized starting from scratch would be difficult and could leave the community vulnerable. With the Arts and Business Council, we found a like-mindedness. Their programs and services would support the Western Avenue artists of today and tomorrow. Their programs and services would support the Western Avenue artists of today and tomorrow. They would provide an established board for leadership, and their day-to-day experience of the pressure on artists losing their spaces made them passionate about saving creative spaces before they were under pressure from real estate development. It was not only a great fit, it was the right fit. The mission of the Arts and Business Council is the only endeavor we have seen that not only preserves the real estate for creative uses, but puts affordability right up front in their mission. Of course, we think more spaces like Western Avenue should be preserved, but instead of telling you why, we simply offer you an invitation to come to Western Avenue, walk the hallways, take in the art, talk to the artists, and ask them why this is so important to have as their creative home forever.
We are so honored to be part of your legacy. Western Ave is a wonderful example of how spatial justice matters. The Arts and Business Council is taking a leadership role to ensure there are safe, affordable, permanent, and equitable places where art is made, rehearsed, and shared. It is now my pleasure to introduce Heather Pontanio from the Tremaine Foundation. Heather has been such an impactful partner with the Arts and Business Council because we have a shared value. Artists are the center of our work. We're so grateful to have had the Tremaine Foundation as part of our community now for over 18 years. Thank you, Heather, for all you've done, locally and nationally, for the Arts and Business Council and for the arts in general.
Greetings. I'm Heather Pontonia with the Emily Hall Tremaine Foundation, a longtime funder of the Arts and Business Council. Our support began almost 15 years ago, and it continues today. We've been part of the Arts and Business Council's professional development training for artists, from the Artist Toolbox to the Creative Entrepreneur Fellowships, and now the work at Western Avenue Studios and Lofts. We believe that being an artist is a career choice. It's a job. It's one of the only jobs that comes with no handbook, no internships, no apprenticeships, and no big corporate entry-level work that helps an individual grow in knowledge before launching their own business. Many people expect artists to be a one-man show without ever thinking of them as a sole entrepreneur. When the Tremaine Foundation started funding professional practice courses throughout the country about 20 years ago, we fought the stereotype that the artist was selling out if they saw their work as a business. And with the help of the Arts and Business Council, that is no longer the case. Artists have resources, tools, connections, opportunities, and support that help them to develop their artistic careers in ways that is authentic to their discipline and to the experience that they are crafting. And our work is not done. More artists choose this career every year. And just like every entrepreneur, they need all the tools they can get and all the support that they can access. 6 years ago, Jim Grace stepped up to be part of the initial Artists Thrive creation team. Supported by the Tremaine Foundation, Artists Thrive is an assessment survey that helps artists and those who work with artists to self-evaluate their work and make adjustments to get on the path to thriving. You can learn more at artistthrive.org. Jim's experience working with this family of artists all connected to the Arts and Business Council influenced the depth and breadth of this national survey tool that is changing the narrative around valuing artists all across the country. Never once has the Arts and Business Council wavered from its dedication and advocacy for artists. They are the backbone of this community, with hundreds of artists one step closer to thriving because of the support they receive through the Arts and Business Council. If you're also a supporter, thank you for valuing this work. And if you're not a supporter, please consider how a gift from you can strengthen this community. And to those artists who are watching, simply thank you. You touch our souls. You elicit emotion. You challenge our thinking. You encourage self-reflection, and you make us uniquely human. And now, let's introduce you to more of the 2022 Creative Entrepreneur Fellows. Paula Elliott, Yueng Sunjia, Bethany Owens, and Jasmine Lee.
This is how a baby boomer repeatedly reinvents herself to become the artist that she's always known herself to be. My name is Paula Elliott. I've spent all of my professional life in public administration and education. I did some work in philanthropy around the arts, and at one point I worked at the State Arts Council, primarily with artists of color. And that experience opened up new ways of thinking about being an artist and new pathways for me. I've sung all my life. I've been encouraged to keep singing, but I've always relegated to the side, and I'm no longer going to do that again. I'm not putting it to the side as a professional. I'm making it front and center. Thanks to the Creative Entrepreneur Fellowship Program for supporting that. Elaine's workshop in career counseling made me realize that a creative's career path could be multifaceted. Luke's work around contract law and copyright law made it user-friendly information. Tessel's work with me made me realize I needed to take better advantage of the existing networks of musicians that I already had established and my home-based studio. Jesse's work and the mindfulness meditation work really gave me new skill sets to help me manage anxiety that's inevitable in my life, in the world. And brass taxes, that tax service, I ended up using it. It saved me money, it was user-friendly, and it gave me a way of thinking about how I set up my tax prep for the future. That was gold. I really did learn something about use of social media and the value of it, and having to get a website. And I'm much further along in making those two resources useful to me in promoting my work. It will be done and everybody will know about it. Candelaria, I thank you. You did a great job doing the overview about the landscaping and the funding opportunities, and you're constantly sending out information about resources available for all of us. And that's going to serve us all well, as long as we use that information and stay on it. Jessie was gracious in her mindfulness and meditation work. I got new skills and dispositions about taking better care of myself in these crazy times. And lastly, brass taxes saved me money and put me on a path that makes me more confident about dealing with my financial situation and dealing with taxes. That was gold for me. So, yes, there are lots of trying times in the world, and I will always still be grateful, particularly for my time in the Creative Entrepreneur Fellowship Program. Thanks to all of you that have supported this program.
Wow, this is crazy. This is so nice. Thank you. Yeah, this is the painting I've been working on. And I've been working on it non-stop, like 7 hours every day.
It's very dynamic. I just want to know from you, what inspired you to make the series about Karen specifically?
Karen the phenomenon, where there's thousands of videos of a woman who is enraged in public spaces. She is very entitled and she is very violent. Yes, they're individual people, but there's also a through line of a similar idea between these videos of Karen. Karen can become the ultimate victim, the only victim, and no one else is able to fulfill that role in the same way. These Karen paintings, they're almost like an allegory for abuse. There's almost like an abuse of power, and you feel like there's maybe a level of emotional abuse, and then there's the abuse of where and who she is. The abuse is passed on to the people who are lower, and there's something very unnatural about that, right? Like if this happened in like a corner store or like a little shop, a little mom and pop shop, I don't see Karen doing that there. I see her doing this stuff at like a Starbucks, Whole Foods, Apple Store, these places of also very abusive capitalism, right? Where the extraction is abusive to the other places that provide the service, like places that have like the goods, that these companies can extract from, and the labor behind it as well. So I think about Karen as part of the cycle of abuse. Like I can behave like this and I'm separated from the community. I have this like structure, this capitalism structure, this overarching system that protects me, but I'm separated from like the individual and I'm separated from the people. When I went to the Philip Guston show with my sister, and we were looking at these men who commit acts of violence and acts of hate, they're veiled, they're not exposed. But Karen is exposed. Karen is exposed, but these men are veiled. But it's almost like they can embody a similar idea of supremacy.
Your work really, on the surface, could be seen as playful.
What makes something funny? Like humor is very interesting in that way, right? Are you laughing from crime? Is it a release from tension? Is it also something that's true? The fact that we can laugh at Karen, this person who feels like I'm not getting what I'm entitled to, go out into these public spaces to take it. How we can laugh at Karen as a woman to do that. Because seeing it as benign, and maybe that's what makes it funny, but the opposite of the Karen, the male version of the Karen, the one that says, if I don't feel like what I'm getting, what I'm entitled to, I'm gonna go out and take it, and I take it from other people. People feel very helpless and are unable to talk about it. So these paintings are really designed as conversation pieces. We are in a space where we do need to talk about it. We do need to find reconciliation. We don't have to be separated, that we can maybe come together and have hard conversations. It's very painful, and we're in this painful system.
This is like a turning point for you. Can you tell me about this program?
CEF is great. So right after the pandemic, this is the first grant that I got. So this work I started and developed while I was in the program. When I first showed this work, I talked about the idea. I talked about the Karen in rage and ecstasy, this like out-of-body experience she has in these public places. And I said that in front of very mature people who had 20, 30 years of teaching experience. They're educated, they're all great artists in their own way. Not together. And I'm gonna talk about Karen like reaching a state of ecstasy in public. But as I talked about it and I showed the research I've done behind it, the first person to laugh was somebody that sings in a church choir. This is it. Like this is something worth talking about, and maybe we all need a bit of release, even if it's like painful. Like, because the reality is, who is this really painful to? Is this painful to the people that experience this constantly, or is it painful to the people who have to see something reflected onto them?
Having conversations with other artists from this organization, do you feel that support?
I definitely do. A lot of care taken into creating the cohort, and I appreciate that because I don't think it was easy. It's not easy for me to express this part of me. But I was able to be vulnerable and to tell them these are my ideas. There was something about it that was affirming as well to the group and to other people as well.
Hi, my name is Bethany Owens. I am a professional photographer, freelance. That's what I do for a living. I mainly photograph things like events, baby showers, birthday parties, just any family gathering that's important and needs to be commemorated. I'm usually there for that. I also do a lot of portraits. That's my area of specialty. That's my favorite thing to do in the world. I just love capturing people's personalities and really showing everyone just how beautiful they are. I love doing that. I had a really great experience in this cohort. I really appreciated the monthly meetings probably the most, mainly because I had a group of people I could meet with who were kind of all on the same page as me, or at least understood where I was, and we all understood each other. We could help each other, give each other resources. I got to work with some really cool people, and having that accountability every month was really nice. Being checked in on, having someone really require me to explain myself and discuss my goals. That was extremely productive for me. And after the cohort ended, I really did notice the absence of that in my life. So I really appreciated that. And I'm happy that I will forever be a part of this kind of chain of people. I still get the emails and all of that, and I don't feel completely kicked out. So I love that. I also got really amazing resources to help me with some of the kind of outright goals I had. I'm working with Brass Taxes now, and I'm really excited about that. I also did complete, turning myself into an LLC, which I know is not a huge, complicated process, but to me it was really overwhelming, and I got everything I needed and all of the help that I needed to get that done. And I feel more in line to complete other tasks, and I just feel more prepared. I also know that I can always reach out and ask any quick questions, and people will be more than happy to help me with that, and that makes me feel really good and I have someone in my corner. So I really loved this program, and I really recommend anyone considering it, definitely apply. But thank you so much for having me. And yeah, good luck to everyone in their future endeavors. This was amazing. So yeah, bye.
Hello, Arts and Business Council community. My name is Jasmine Lee, and I am a local artist from Boston. I would say I am a visual artist. I like to sew sustainable custom masks, and I'm also currently working on a mutual aid project where I sew, fundraise, and donate face masks to local shelters and other community groups in Boston. I'm also a Creative Entrepreneur Fellowship alum from this past year, and the program has had a huge impact on my artistic practice. First, I was able to submit an art piece for the first time and also put a price on it and be featured on exhibition. I was also able to attend my first artist residency out in Connecticut and explore nature, experiment with creating textiles that are going to be used for my mutual aid project. And most importantly, I think the greatest impact it has on my practice is being with the cohort itself and getting to learn about my fellows' artistic practice, their stories, our check-ins regularly, listening to some of the challenges that we face as artists, but also comforting each other and sharing guidance and support and being able to navigate being an artist in Boston. So having this community, the support system has been so helpful and very life-changing, and I hope to continue to sustain my practice to do artwork that supports community and also be able to support other artists too. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us tonight and for believing like we do, the arts and the people that make it matter.
And if you're new to the Arts and Business Council, please visit our website. We look forward to connecting with you. Thanks again.
Good night.